evangelical pastor says Jesus hasn't returned due to the lack of donations. He says, I honestly believe this. The reason why Jesus hasn't come is because people are not giving the way God told them to give. When you understand this,
you can speed up the time.
He continued to suggest that if people called the number at the bottom of the screen, God the Father would say,
Jesus, go get him.
Speaking prophetically by the Holy Spirit, and you are to sow a $3,000 seed. When you obey the voice of the Lord, and you do what God's telling you to do, you need to send in $35,000. You need to send in that $100,000 check. I'm telling you, and God has mandated, if you do not write that P.O. box and you do not call that toll-free number and you do not become a ministry of sustainer, you will never see sustainment in your life and your dream will die.
This is Paula White. Even her last name is White. Interesting. Who's now the leader of the Imaginary Christians Are Being Persecuted in America office. But she meets her first husband, Dean Knight. They get together, they fall in love, they have a child out of wedlock, and then they get married. And then she meets her second husband, Randy White, while they are both still married. Randy's married with children and is a pastor. And they have a relationship for a year before they finally get divorced and get married. And then Randy and Paula build a ministry over the course of 18 years before filing for divorce. Their ministry was later investigated because they spent millions of church appropriated funds on plastic surgery and a house and a private jet. She even gave Bishop T.D. Jakes a Bentley for his birthday. So then she has an affair with another married man who's a pastor named Benny Hinn, who got sued by his publisher because he had a morality clause. And then she meets a bona fide rock star, the keyboardist for Journey, Jonathan Cain, and they begin an affair. He is also married to his second wife with 3 children. I don't have my Bible, so I'm going to go from memory. Adultery is condemned in the Bible 54 times. As a matter of fact, if you look at Exodus 20 verse 14, it says, "Thou shalt not commit adultery," as part of the 10 Commandments that Christians want to put in schools. Do you want to know how many times homosexuality is mentioned in the Bible? 6. Do you want to know what's not included in the 10 Commandments? Abortion. But see, Christians have to find a group of people to hate a sin that's way worse than what they're doing, because otherwise they'd have to pay attention to the fact that they're all cheating on their spouses and condoning people who do. So not only are they not listening to the commandments to love the poor, serve the sick, help those in prison, help the stranger and the immigrant, they're also not listening to the ones about the sexual sin they shouldn't be committing. Christian persecution. Am I right?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are at a whole new level.
To say no to President Trump would be saying no to God. And I won't do that.
Wherever I go, God rules. When I walk on White House grounds, God walks on White House grounds.
Closest we can get to ancient kings and rulers claiming to be gods. Paula White is Trump's spiritual advisor.
I had every right and authority to declare the White House as holy ground because I was standing there, and where I stand is holy.
And the head of his newly established faith department at the White House. Faith is a great thing, but when you believe you are God's chosen people, your word is divine, while justifying displacement, crimes against humanity and genocide instead of compassion and mercy, then what you believe is evil wrapped with insanity, part of God's plan. وَيَجْعَلَ الْخَبِيثَ بَعْضُهُ عَلَى بَعْضٍ فَيَرْكُمَهُ جَمِيعًا فَيَجْعَلَهُ فِي جَهَنَّمَ أُولَئِكَ هُمُ الْخَاسِرُونَ. A call for you to wake up.
Join you all with a little bit of Christian values. Here we have a Chick-fil-A owner. Let me enlarge this. Here we have Ohio Chick-fil-A owner Stacy Austin has been arrested for driving over 400 miles to North Carolina with ill intentions to meet a 15-year-old child. On a Sunday, of course. Those are MAGA values.
A Bible teacher and a Daily Wire writer who once accused drag queens of grooming children has now been arrested for allegedly molesting a child. Aaron Craig Gleason, a Bible teacher and soccer coach at Rocky Bayou Christian School in Florida, was taken into custody on January 28, 2025. The allegations stem from an incident in December 2024 when a female student reported that Gleason touched her inappropriately during a Bible class. According to the arrest report, the student approached Gleason's desk to discuss an assignment. After their conversation, he gave her a side hug and allegedly slid his hand to her buttocks and rubbed his thumb up and down. 2 other students confirmed the victim's account. Gleason, who has written for The Federalist and The Daily Wire, frequently warned of groomers in the LGBTQ+ community. In 2023, he posted a video from a New York drag march claiming, quote, "They're coming for our children." Following his arrest, Gleason was placed on paid leave by the school and released on a $75,000 bond. His next court appearance is set for March 13, 2025.